and thank you so much for joining for yet another Girl Who Don't You Know. I am Marilyn Green, the hostess with the mostest. And what I'm trying to do here is that I am trying to transform lives one show at a time. And I'm so happy that you joined me. Today, I have I call them subject matter experts because that's all I want on my show is subject matter experts. And today, we're going for the whole month basically. I'm wanting to tap into strategies and ways for you to um, mm, think about life, loss, grief, things of that nature. However, as you think about it, I think my job is to try to get someone on that's going to help you have the tools or the strategies or the tips that you need in order to get through this holiday season. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring um, Dr. Walt Kasmir on. And Dr. Kasmir, can you wave at us and say hi?
Good evening. I'm just going to go with the live version. It's evening. We're as we record this, and I am elated to be on your show. I am. It's my privilege to be before your audience and to share a little bit of my wisdom. Hopefully,
Oh, no. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you. Wisdom is what we need. Okay. The Bible says, of all you're getting, please get understanding. And wisdom is the principal thing. So let's do the wisdom. Okay. So, my first question is, how did you get into this? I know you said you were a nurse. And tell me about why did you, I mean, we talked a little bit before, you didn't just wake up and say, hey, I'm going to be a gerontologist when I grow up. What was the journey to get to where you are?
a
Okay.
journey indeed. It as we said off air, it was not what I planned to do, especially as a young man contemplating my career. But
Mm-hmm.
as you mentioned, I was a nurse for decades. And
Okay.
one of the good things about it is such a broad foundation that you can specialize in a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept evolving and trying different specialties. And the the real pivot point that got me into gerontology, I took a position in Winston-Salem
Okay.
as a case manager, and our target audience were seniors. And so I'm a lifetime learner, and I go all in. So I
I
was
get you.
I was new to dealing with the elderly, and so they gave us some training, and I thought it was interesting. And at that point, I was no spring chicken myself, so I
Okay.
was
Come on.
I was contemplating, my mortality as well. And
Wow.
so I just kept studying more about things that
Okay.
affect seniors and their families, and I ended up um, getting certified as a gerontologist.
Okay. And for those who don't know what a gerontologist is, I know the root word. I love Latin. I took 3 years of it in high school. The geriatrics comes out of that some kind of way. So tell us a little bit about that definition of what they
I,
actually do.
I'm glad you said geriatrics because that's what most people say. So
Hmm.
geriatrics is the medical discipline.
Okay.
So geriatricians would be a MD who specializes in diseases that affect elderly people,
Okay.
Alzheimer's, um, cancer, heart disease, those types of things. And a lot of them really have experience helping manage patients that are on multiple medicines.
Okay.
Gerontology does not have to be a medical doctor.
Okay.
It's a multidisciplinary specialty. Social workers, nurses, academics, various people who are interested in the scientific study of the aging, of the biology, the physical aging, psychological, um, and spiritual components of aging, not just diagnosing and treating diseases that affect seniors.
Wow, I love that. I love that the gerontologist. I mean, I do because, like you said, it's multifaceted. You know, it can multidiscipline and things like that. You almost can kind of like write your own story with that one of what you
Exactly.
really want to deal with. Right. I
And I
got you.
had been
I
in
got
nursing so long that I didn't want just a certification in just nursing. It's a
you.
multidisciplinary certification, and it's really applicable to my own life.
Okay. Tell us about
And
that.
um, really, when you think of the definition, studying the aging process, if you're here breathing, you're aging. It's just
Yes.
about life. So really, it's
Yes.
the study of life. How do we
Right.
manage biologically, psychologically, spiritually, socially, economically, all of those things? When you go to your doctor, he just wants to write a prescription or give you do some procedures on you. They don't care how you're managing.
Ah, I see.
And most don't have any social workers or nurses who are there. It's their function to assist the adult children of aging parents, ACAPs,
Wow.
adult children of aging parents. And so that's really my specialty now.
Okay. Adult children of aging parents.
Yes,
Wow.
ACAPs. And
Okay.
if you
Okay.
look on my site, and I brand myself as the elder care coach.
Yes. I like that. Elder
So
care
let me try
coach.
to paint a picture of who I help. So in gerontology, we like to say that we help the sandwich generation.
Oh,
You may have your own career, dealing with your own family, your own kids on one side, and you're trying to have your life, and you may be taking care of mama or managing mama's care. So
yes.
you have these two bookends of pressure
Mm,
squeezing you.
mm,
And I mean, I'm sure you know some people who are in that sandwich generation. And
yes.
if they tell you anything about it, or if you have any level of discernment, you will be able to tell that it is one of the most stressful things that they can ever do in life. This,
Ever.
and particularly, most caregivers are usually bearing the brunt of the burden.
Yes.
I don't know how that ends up, but very few families have multiple people pitching in.
That's right. That's right.
And
That's right.
when part of my elder care coaching is number one, I'm trying to help that ACAP, that adult child, maintain their wellness
Mm,
while they are enduring one of the most stressful times of their life. And I
yeah.
serve as a resource for them to coach them through it, to help provide resources they may not have known about. Um, and I even serve as an advocate if necessary.
Wow.
So I saw on your promotional you had author, coach, and trainer, I
Mm-hmm.
think. And so I did want to kind of delve into that and explain. So in today's era, you have to brand, and make it simple for people. So
This
the
is true.
ACE.
Ace.
So the each one of those letters has a few different meanings. So
Mm-hmm.
I saw that you picked up on that, but it just depends on who I am talking to or helping. because I
That's right.
over the years I have developed, a few talents and skills.
Mm-hmm.
But so the A, it could be for author, could be for advisor, could be for advocate.
Right.
The C could be for coach. So especially in our community, we kind of shy away from the whole terminology of counseling and therapy and all that.
Oh
So
yeah. Oh yeah.
coaching
Oh yeah.
is more acceptable to a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people. And
Okay.
technically, it depends what the goal is. If we're
Exactly.
just trying to achieve a certain objective, we
Mm-hmm.
are actually doing coaching. And so
Exactly.
a
You're
lot of
right.
times I'm coaching that caregiver through specific tasks. You know,
Wow.
how do we evaluate an assisted living if that's the direction you're going? Um,
Mm-hmm.
how do you mediate with some of the family members that may have more lip service than help? You know, a
Lip
lot,
service. I love that one. Lip service. They
so
just talking, running their mouth.
um, a lot of time you don't know what you don't know. But
Exactly.
I having been there myself, I'm actually experiencing this right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's not like I just read some books and just went to school in a vacuum. I have two elderly parents. I have mine and my in-laws at this
Mm-hmm.
very moment that I am personally dealing with. So it's not just touting some theory.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
So how do you, Doc? So how do you, you know, we're always in the stage of living, okay, and we're always in the stage of aging, dying, okay.
yes.
Now, how do you deal with that? Now, I mean, let me just give my background a little bit. Worked for public health, worked as an administrative law judge for the public health nursing home act.
Oh,
Okay. And in that, nowadays, people are building things that you come in at one stage and you go all the way until you pass. Okay. Are you
CCRC.
familiar with that? Right. So, how do you deal? And I'm thinking about how you're dealing with the fact that my parents are aging and they're going to pass at some point.
Yes.
What do you talk about coaching? I love that, the fact that that's a little bit more palatable. People can handle coach better. Okay. What do you do to try to move them down a continuum? You're talking about the training, and all that. How do you help them? I mean, what strat like I'll just give a scenario,
Okay.
okay? So last year my dad passed. So this year my mom is sick. I'm just saying. How do you help that person? How do you help them?
Well, any person who any person who has some savvy about themselves,
Mm-hmm.
emotional intelligence, they're going to just
Mm-hmm.
kind of feel where the person is coming from and meet them where they are.
Okay.
We have to collaborate with the client.
Mm-hmm.
So I could have a 2-page treatment plan that okay, I've assessed the situation. This is what I think they're going through. This is what I think they need to do. But people only are going to do what they want to do. They're not going to do what I want them to do, what
They're
their
not.
doctor wants to do, what their spouse, their family. They're only going to do what they really want to do. So
Exactly.
my job, one technique that I rely on pretty heavily is we call it motivational interviewing.
Yes, I'm
I
familiar.
use motivational interviewing to find out what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds easier than
Then
it
say it.
really is.
It is. Yeah, that's
But I
true.
my goal is to find out what you want to do, help you articulate that, help you get over ambivalences. Because the
Mhm.
the main situation, the main challenge for most people is they're grappling with what they heard about the old school nursing homes.
Mhm.
So they're like, I'm never taking mama to one of those nasty nursing homes. And so they have it in their mind that they have their guards up and they're never going to do that. And so they're grappling with that and all the other pressures. But the truth of the
Mhm.
matter is some of them are bad.
Yes,
I've
that is
been
the
in
truth of
some
the matter.
I've been in some places where I had to shoo flies off the people. That's what they had, the image they have in their mind. Not all of them are
Exactly.
like that. But the bottom line is the family has to be engaged. Someone has to be an
Okay.
advocate to be in there all the time to let them
Mhm.
know, hey, mama has some people and they're not having that. If they
That's
know
true.
that, if they, I mean, there's a fine line. Some people go
Mhm.
overboard where
Yes, they
you
do.
become, a pain in the butt.
Yes.
There's a balancing act between being a staunch advocate and
Mhm.
being a pain. I mean, you can go in and bully people and cuss people out if you want to. It might make you feel good, but you're only alienating that staff.
Oh no, no, no. What you're doing and stuff is you're setting your parent or whoever up to get mistreated. Let's just
Right.
get it right.
And and,
Okay.
and yeah, so you do have, sometimes you have to get with people.
You do. You do have to get with them, Doc,
It's a
but they
balancing
don't
act.
understand getting with them is not helping. It's civility, being civil and going in there and understanding all the facts before you start talking to people about anything. And let me just say this really quick. You have to go in there with your mind on zero, meaning balance. You can't go in there feeling all sad that day, and when you go in there, you're liable to just go on and let's just say it, bust a cap on somebody. You mad, okay?
And,
You
and, and
cannot do that.
and that's where the coaching comes in, because
Yes,
you are overloaded. There's no mistake about it. This
overloaded.
this is stressful, and
Mm-hmm.
most people are only going to do this once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Yeah.
haven't done it before, and we don't like to talk about this stuff,
Oh
and
no.
so you are going into one of the most stressful situations in life, totally unprepared, and you just pressure after pressure is mounting, and then somebody does something sideways. Yeah, yeah,
I
it's
love the sideways.
understand. It's understandable. It's understandable, but you're not going to
It's
help the
sideways.
situation. You're not going to help the situation like that. So, um, I coach them through that emotional burden
Mm-hmm.
and provide resources and will advocate, because a lot of times they won't know what questions to ask
They don't.
the
They don't.
staff or
They
the
don't.
doctor. Or here, case in point, this just happened recently, where I got a drastic reduction in prescription costs
Mm-hmm.
for a family, because they didn't know about, even if you have insurance, you can use um, prescription discount programs
Yes.
and get tremendous savings.
Yes.
Or
Yes.
and the same family, um, he was taking a specific blood pressure medicine, and you know how the pharmacy is always
Mm-hmm.
changing
Yes.
manufacturers so they can
Yes.
save some dollars. And
Yes.
he had a reaction to the new cheaper stuff.
Mm.
So I got access to their portal, and
Okay.
I went in and wrote them a blistering message to the
Oh
staff and the
wow.
doctor.
Blistering. Ooh, such a
Um,
word.
and, and it's, but they think it's coming from my client.
Right.
And
Okay.
and then I get in that portal, and I know I'm advocating. I'm not playing around with these people.
Okay. I like that. I
I'm
like the
pushing the
advocate.
envelope. I'm pushing the
I
envelope.
just push it. Push because they need
They they,
help. They
they
need
need to
help.
know that
They do.
um
We're not
somebody
playing.
well, in this case, and some hospitals actually have it where they can assign you as an advocate, and so they know that
Yes.
it's an advocate. But to
Yes,
make it
exactly.
simple, I'll just get the credentials and I'll log in as the client.
That's
And
it. That's it. That's
and I
good. That's
I
good.
I, I by the time I got finished um telling them how it was borderline on negligence and how medical authorities might be interested in this and the hospital administration, and so by the time so I wrote it like in the
Right.
evening or early in the morning. By mid morning my client called me. What? I don't know what you did, but that doctor's office just called me and they're gonna switch those medicines and that. I said, oh, okay.
That is too funny. I love how
but
you got
but
the old person voice.
yeah, but if you just called them and just flew off, you might feel good, but they're
They're
gonna
not
hang
gonna
up
do
the
nothing.
phone and be like,
That's right. That's right. That's right. So, what do
and
you do? Do you ever deal with the part of like we talk about holidays and all that and stuff, But what kind of strategies would you give them, Doc, to try to just walk through this thing, Because for me, when we think about grieving, okay, and we've walked it down during this recording of saying, yes, I'm dealing with you while you're living, but let's talk about when
okay.
someone passes away and that loved one is still living. Okay, what happens with during the holidays, and how can you help them?
So you're talking
And
about the
we've all suffered loss. We've all suffered loss. We deal with grief differently. Don't get
right,
me
right,
wrong.
right.
But how can you help them get through the seasons where grandmother used to always do this, or granddad used to do this, and we used to them being here, and I'm just feeling so sad. One of my friends said, I just ain't had a Christmas in 2 years since my mama passed.
I,
How do
I
you help them?
I saw that. So let me get this out there.
Okay, go
In
ahead.
total transparency, no one, no counselor, coach, no one can fix anybody,
Okay, come on.
especially me. We can't fix you. We can guide you. We can go on the journey with you.
Hmm.
We can encourage you, support you, give you some advice, but we can't fix. This is painful. It,
Yeah.
it's going to hurt.
Hmm.
But so I like to use the laceration analogy, and hopefully this paints a picture.
Okay.
So, like I said, I was in a few different specialties. I started off in the ER, so we saw a lot
Mm.
of trauma. So, let's say a physical example, you get a major laceration on your arm. I mean, a big one of those Frankenstein
Oh
lacerations.
God.
Like all the way down there.
Oh, they can see the white meat. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, bad. Not a little
A
what they
scratch.
call
No scratches.
butterfly bandage.
Okay.
But the doctor's rolling up in sleeves. Like, okay, I'm going in.
Right.
The chances are that you could have survived that laceration without going to the hospital.
Hmm.
You could have had grandma put on some of her little home remedies on there and just go with it. And it might have healed up okay,
Right.
but it might not. It might You might have got a raging infection.
Hmm.
You might have had where you had a big old ugly scar because grandma couldn't get it as close together like they could in the ER with some sutures or surgery.
Right. Right.
Um, they wouldn't you wouldn't have had thorough instructions on the healing process and what to do to help it along. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you could have had a homemade job. You could have got through it without that big old bill, but your arm is messed up and it's ugly, and you got this ugly scar forever. Same thing with our emotions and our psyche. We go
Mm.
through a trauma, a traumatic loss. And yeah, you can go through like most of us do, and you lose someone, and they have a wake, and they have a bunch of food, and people tell you a bunch of lies. Yeah, need anything, just call me. 2 days, you're forgotten.
Come
But
on,
your
keep it
pain is
real.
still there. Your pain is still there, and you haven't processed that. And chances are no one around you is either able or willing to help you in a constructive manner.
Yes.
And so you keep going, you survive, but you're not properly healing. I didn't say healed, I said you're not properly healing.
Healing. Right.
So that's my goal. That should be any grief counselor's goal, is to get in there and clean out that wound and suture it up so that nature can take its place and you can start healing properly, and come along with some verbal and emotional salve and antibiotics to help it heal better and to keep you from getting worse. And so that's what we're
Mm-hmm.
doing on the emotional level, is giving them some guidance, giving them, helping them come to some insights
Mm-hmm.
about their relationship. There might have been some bad dynamics going on.
Right.
So a lot of times, first thing we have to do, and this is true with many scenarios, is help them forgive
Mm.
either
That's heavy
themselves,
there. That's
either
heavy.
themselves for a variety of reasons. Let's get some real talk. Okay, spouses. Let's say Papa was a Rolling Stone and all he left him was a loan that they had
Okay.
to pay back. Mama might be mad. She
Mm-hmm.
might. They, bill collectors are calling. She's mad. She doesn't want to. That wouldn't be popular to tell people that so and so left us messed up. I'm mad. How does she? The first thing I would help her do is normalize those emotions. Let her know
Okay.
it's okay to be mad. It's
Okay.
okay to be sad. It's okay to be jealous. It's all those kind. Everybody is not thinking like Mother Teresa,
No.
and then they think that they must be some kind of monster that they're not.
Mm-hmm.
So, number one is normalize, helping normalize all those emotions.
Right.
Number two, if we need to go address forgiveness, either
Mm-hmm.
ourselves or the other person or other family members, whomever, that's a major one. It seems simple, but all these little traumas and obstacles weigh us down, and a lot of times unconsciously. We don't even know this stuff is wearing us down.
Mm-hmm.
And in our community, we deal with a lot of stuff.
That's right. Well,
We,
let me say this, Doc. In our community, let's stop right there and drop a pin. In our community, we are not accepting this part of what you just said. I don't need all that. I don't want to do all that. Okay. I just want to be left alone. Okay. And the leaving alone is that's part of a grief. Let me just say this: COVID-19. I just got off the grieving process of COVID-19. Right. I'm just gonna tell you because that was a loss. Any type of loss to me is grieving. and you have to am I right? Okay, you have to
Absolutely.
get to the point of any type of loss. It's just not a body leaving, a human being stop breathing. You may lose anything. I mean, but for me, I'm telling you, COVID-19, I remember the day when I just started to just go down, meaning like, really? Why these people just don't? Because I work for public health, right? So I'm like, I wish they just get it together. And I
Huh.
went through a grieving process and actually just came out of it. And I had to fight for it. Okay, this ain't an easy process, right, Doc? This ain't easy. Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
loss is loss. So don't just
There's
think
many types of loss.
it's many types of losses. Right.
Loss of
And
your
that's all
own
I'm saying.
social situation, loss of a job, loss of
Yes. Yes, yes. But even in all those losing losses or whatever, you have to understand that there is help out here. It is
there
people
is
out here to
there is
help you,
help.
and you have to go and get help and stop being like, I just don't want to talk to nobody. I'm gonna get better. No, you're not. What does it say? Idle mind is the devil's workplace. Okay, you're gonna start getting worse. You're not gonna get better. You're gonna get worse. Okay. I
Most
mean,
of the
what's your
time.
thoughts on that, Doc?
Most of the time, we either totally repress
Mm-hmm.
the situation and it's not going away. We're just pulling a thin veil across it.
Right.
And any little thing will pull that veil back. And it'll hurt.
Quickly.
It'll hurt just as much as it did when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
So that if we go back to my laceration analogy,
Mm-hmm.
um, if you never allow that to heal, in fact, if you poured in some more germs
Mm-hmm.
in there and just allowed it to fester, that's what we're doing when we don't get some help.
Yes. When we
We're
don't
just
deal with it, it's
we're allowing that to fester, and now
mm-hmm.
we got this other thing on top of that, and now we got this
Yes.
other thing, and a lot of times it is not one at a time. Sometimes it's multiple things at the same time
Yes.
that
Now
we're
the
dealing with.
terminology, when they use the terminology of sepsis, what does that mean? Huh,
That's what
I don't
that
know. That
that's
just made me
good.
think about. I'm sorry, Doc.
That's
That made me think
exactly
about.
that's exactly what I was describing without the extra
I thought
terminology.
you I thought you were describing that. That's what I'm like. It's a
So
cause of a sepsis, and sepsis is like everybody gone awry. It's just your body just gone. It's just everywhere.
exactly, you hear that a lot of people have probably heard that term, and you're normally going to be in the ICU.
Yes.
And I sh- I should have looked up the stats, but it's not a good situation.
It's not. My
A
father
lot of
passed from
them
sepsis.
don't
Mm-hmm.
recover or don't
Mm-hmm.
fully recover.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so that's the same. That's the physical analogy of what's going on emotionally when we're dealing with untended grief, loss, and trauma.
Wow.
It's so the popular term now is it becomes toxic,
Toxic. That's it.
just
Toxic.
a bomb waiting to go off.
That's what. That's right. And so I just want to say, people out there, you guys need to go get help. I mean, this discussion has really, really been good. And that terminology of sepsis, sepsis, I believe I got it right.
Yes, you
Okay.
do.
That right there, that sepsis, if you don't know what it is, you need to go look it up. Okay. Because if you do not go get help, it is. It's you just piling over and over and over because you refuse to say I need some help. Okay. We have people are out there, and I always say this, you may not get the right person the first time, but if you keep going, right, Doc? If you keep going, you're gonna get the right fit for what you are looking for. Okay, but if you
Absolutely
don't
right.
go, that's on you. What's your thoughts on that, Doc?
Absolutely right. So I'm glad you set that up for me. I don't know how much time we have, so I'm just going to
But you can go ahead, please. Mm-hmm.
get this plug in now. The pro um, get over yourself message. Get over yourself and get over the people. If you have a toothache, you go to the dentist.
That's right.
You break your leg, you go to the orthopedic doctor. You have a heart attack, you go to the cardiologist. Your kidneys failing, you go to the nephrologist.
That's
Um,
right.
if you are having some extra traumas in your life, you need to go talk to a prepared person.
Yes.
And if you think of it as you go, for men, we go to the barbershop and we listen to them like they really know what they're talking about. We're, we're, we're like, Ray really made some sense on that. Yeah. Ray hasn't
Right.
been to anybody's school but the barber school.
Ray
We're
Ray, go now.
we're in the bar, we're in the locker room. We're playing cards, we're doing whatever we're doing, and we're talking and we're bouncing off what we're going through off of someone else. That's really all counseling is having someone who is trained to listen to you,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
understand where you're coming from, and give you a third party perspective on the situation.
That's it. That's it. So yeah. But
That's it, and
that's
that is
all it
not.
is
That's
about,
what it is.
yeah, and in this holiday season, why don't you gift yourself by getting to the end of yourself, okay, and go and get some help, okay. That's what I would say, Doc. I mean, just go get some help. Gift yourself, just think
Give
about yourself, and guess what? People will start to, not that you care whether or not they like you or not, but you start to like yourself better, okay?
oh,
Because
definitely.
you ain't getting up mad, upset, and all that and stuff all the time because something is eating at you, okay? But you refuse to say, oh, we don't do that where I come from. Right, right, right. But guess what? You don't do it. But then again, you messed up. That's the bottom line. You just
And
messed up.
we can all stand to go talk to somebody.
That's right.
I I was a nurse for years. I knew about stress and all. I didn't realize chronic stress was building up on me.
Okay.
And I was snapping at my wife and all. I was like, "What's wrong with you, dude?" Uh-uh. And,
Right.
and then I was like, "I'm stressed out." And I went to go talk to somebody, and he said, "Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
surprised it took you this long."
that's the reality of the thing. We are humans that are being, okay? Human beings, okay? So from time to time we got to go, So, but look, Doc, you know what? I appreciate you being here. This has been a really good, super great talk about just I really enjoyed it. That's all I can say. I really love your analogies, and I'm hoping that the people out there will get the fact that, hey, it is people out there that care about you. There are people out there that genuinely want you to be better because guess what? I always say this: when you win, I win. When your mind is straight, okay, then I get my mind straight. Guess what? The community will get two minds that are straight, okay? And you'll be able to do what you need to do for what you were supposed to be doing, okay, on this earth while you're here, right, Doc? So,
But
Doc, do you have any parting words you want to say? Go for it.
yes, I because I didn't get to say this, and I know people are thinking this. Um, oh, that costs too much.
Come on.
Let's get real. Now you can tell I don't do a whole lot to my hair. I brush it, put a little grease on it. But I know that there's some people that spend two, three, $400 on hairdos that
Come
last
on.
a
Let's
month.
go for nails. Let's go for nails.
I don't know about those, but I could imagine uh 40, $50 maybe. I don't know. But just for how long does that last? A month? But we're talking about investing for, and especially if you happen to have insurance. So you're probably paying a copay,
Mm-hmm.
40, 50, $60. Even if you go to a coach who doesn't accept insurance like me, I'm generally going to charge around what your copay would be,
Okay.
less than that hairdo. And the work that we can accomplish can be generational. So that's going to last longer than a hairdo. So
That's right.
invest in your health and a legacy that is immeasurable.
I love it. Thank you so much, Dr. Kasmir. I'm gonna tell you on again and stuff because I love the conversation and I enjoyed it. So I tell you what, until next time, this is Marilyn Green. I am the girl behind Girl Who Don't You Know. And you know what we do here? We transform your mind one show at a time. So until then, next time, you guys be blessed.